morning, everyone. Sarah here at Three Little Potters, and I have a kiln opening for you today. Some exciting new glazes in this load, and I'm still sort of going through my test batches of the Brown Bear, Dark Star, and Rue stoneware clay. Hopefully the loads after this will be getting back into the B-Mix 5 and a lot more holiday stuff. So we're still a little hot here, 390 or so degrees. So a lot of these light pinky colored ones will get a little bit darker as the kiln cools more. But I am on my holiday schedule and do not have a lot of time for cooling or anything else. So a few more Christmas trees that didn't fit into the last load. This is Aventurine Blue Green with Studio White on the top. That's a glaze that I mix, but I've been looking online and it looks like Spectrum's Holly Green is very close to this. Maybe a little bit more yellow in the green. So I'm pretty excited to try out Holly Green. It was back ordered on Blick Art Materials, so I have it ordered, but I have to wait for the back order to come in. Okay. So surprisingly, only 4 Christmas trees in this kiln. I have a whole bunch more Christmas trees to go into my next bisque load. So, okay, so mixed bag here. This is black walnut and green tea. I've seen some really pretty examples of this combination online and finally got around to buying it. This is on the Dark Star clay. You know, some pinholes here, a little bit matte finish in places. I think this would like a hotter cone, but because this is the speckled clay body, it can't go much hotter than it is right now. So I'll probably just sell that as a second. All right. And I don't know, this is another new glaze for me. So this glaze on the bottom is Copper Float by Mayco. I've got some Amaco seaweed on the rim here, Studio White on the inside, and that's seaweed on the rim. So this is my first time with Copper Float. My next shelf down will be a little hotter, and we'll see if it does something different there. But yeah, it's really, really pretty and metallic. I don't know if that's coming across, but thank you to Audrey at Audrey Lynn Studios. She was telling me I should buy Copper Float. Okay, this is Unicorn Horn and Cordovan on the Brown Bear clay. I wasn't expecting blue. Let's see, Unicorn Horn is sort of like a yellowish glaze, and Cordovan's like a red glaze-ish. So blue, okay. Cool. Sunrise over white on Brown Bear. This is a refire from last time. It was June purple, and I added a bit of honey flux here to see if it could sort of heal over a few little blemishes, and I think that that looks pretty good. Fuzzy Peach. Loving these new Spectrum glazes. They're just so good. Oh, and if anyone's looking, I did notice that Blick Art Materials has the new Spectrum glazes in stock finally. I just got a bigger container of Fuzzy Peach, so I was pretty excited about that. Okay, green tea over black walnut. That's 2 times black walnut, 2 times green tea. I think that glaze combo, I mean, obviously I haven't done it on the B-Mix 5 clay yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing how that looks. I do like this sort of metallic green black look, but I'm also interested to see it on a white clay body. Hopefully I have a ring dish with that on it. This is Floating Celadon over white. That's Spectrum's Floating Celadon, and I didn't get any of the green or the variation that I usually get with that glaze. Just kind of a light, cute cup. This looks like a hot mess. What happened here? I'm wondering if this top shelf is just too cool. But Yeah, it's dark star, so I probably don't want to refire it. Maybe I will anyway. We'll try. Oh, you know what? Maybe I could put it in the bisque load with some stroking coat on it. That might help. So originally this was ginger all over, and then shallot here and soft red here. And it looks like either the soft red or the shallot, something's caused a lot of blistering on the outside. And I feel like it may just not have gotten hot enough for those glazes to heal over those blemishes, but we're limited on what that clay can do. So this is fire brick red with honey flux on top of it on roux clay. And it looks also like I had a bit of white on prior to. It's pretty. I like that section of it right there. Is really pretty. Oh, I'm gonna crank this one out. Okay. So I was working on finding those color stripes, the light color stripes. And what I did was 2 layers of honey flux and then Mayco stroking coat colors over the top of that and a little bit of dirty snow on the rim. And I think the way to go would have been the stroking coat first and then honey flux over that. Sarah Perrin at Perrin Pottery had done the combo that way, and her result looked really great. Although those strips are pretty sweet, except for the one I have to sand. All right. Here's another fatality of shelf number 1. More blistering. Okay, so this is Nimbus. This section was Nimbus by itself, and that was very unhappy. The Nimbus over Studio White, you can see it was right here, and that less of this craziness. And then there was a little bit of ivy on the bottom. Yeah, both of those are the Dark Star clay. I think glaze needed to be hotter. Clay needs to stay cool. Bad combo all around. So I'll try to fix that. This is Chun Plum with some RHC on the rim. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the refire bin. I think this needs just more glaze. Just a little bit brownish for me. I think I didn't go thick enough. I think this is shallot and RHC. It's really pretty pink and blue craziness on the inside there. Cobra Cobalt, that's a mixed glaze. It is basically the Cobra Verde recipe with a tiny bit of cobalt instead of the copper. This is Black Walnut and Ancient Jasper over Honey Flux. And this is Ancient Jasper. It's over Honey Flux. I know you can't really see any of the Honey Flux, but I believe it is over Honey Flux there too. I have been out of ring dishes in my shop, and I'm trying very hard to get a load of them through so that I can get the listing going. This is Ancient Jasper over the Roux stoneware, and it was already cracked before I did this to it, so it can go in the seconds. And this is, I believe this is the Black Walnut and Green Tea. Again, although getting more green out of it there than I had prior. So not sure what's going on here. I thought it may just be Black Walnut here on that bottom edge that's causing that with Nimbus, but it's definitely unhappy, so. Oh, another refire. Oh, tiger's eye, some shallot on it. Variegated Dove Gray with Mayco's Ivy on it. Laguna Power Turquoise with RHC, I believe. It could also be honey flux, but I'm pretty positive it's running hot chowder on this one. Night with Mayco's Ivy. That's on Rue. This is shallot, and it's a little thin. It'll be okay. We'll decide if that one's a second or not. So I think this is... Okay, so I think it is black walnut and RHC, but oddly enough, it looks like it has ancient jasper right there on it, so... Interesting. Honeydew and honey flux, and yeah. Stroking coat jaded, speckled jaded with a little bit of dirty snow over studio white. Ooh, that next shelf is hot. About as close as we can get here. Looks pretty good, except for whatever exploded off the side of that. That looks pretty interesting. I like this one, the fuzzy peach one. All right, this next shelf. Maybe too hot to pull, we'll see. This is emerald green over Seltzer Chun on Rue. Oh, I was like, what is inside of it? But it's a speckled clay body. I'm seeing the speckles of the clay body. It's not like dust from my kiln. Oh, okay. Nice shelf. Wonk, wonk. Some grinding there, but really pretty. This was, it had a bare spot. I put bougainvillea over. It was Seltzer Chan, and then Vickery OS1 and Vickery OS2, and then bougainvillea over top of all of that. And it ran a lot more. I even ground the bottom back quite a bit so that there wasn't really any glaze on that last 1/8 of an inch, because I really thought it probably would run. So I ground off what I thought would run, but apparently not enough. This is honey flux and shallot over white on dark star. And here's my cone. So I'm not quite at a cone 6, so that the dark star clay is okay. This is the Mayco stroking coats over honey flux and a little bit of dirty snow on it to sort of get it all to move. Yeah, brighter than I thought, less pastel-y, but really cool. I think we have apple red, jack-o'-lantern orange, a yellow in there, Irish luck green, sour apple, a few different blues. It's a medley of stroking coats there. Lavender mist over studio white on Rue, and that is gorgeous. I think that color's pretty. I'm gonna do that one again. Oh, I will say that this is just one coat of the lavender mist over the studio white, but my lavender mist has gotten really dehydrated in the jar, so it's kind of very thick application going on there. Ooh, cactus over studio white on Rue. I like that color there. Cactus is by Spectrum. It's one of my sort of favorite deserty glazes. This is Seltzer Chum with shallot and I believe some power turquoise. I'm not really seeing the power turquoise, but dark star clay. So I don't see any bloat on my dark star, so I think that's good. We got through this load, and then think I'll probably up my temperature a little bit on subsequent loads with the B-mix. This is Emerald, and it was Seltzer Chan on the rim. Oh, it's hot. It's hot. Fuzzy peach and shallot over a little bit of white. The kiln is hot enough that I am taking a water break. I just thought I'd show the cup. It's one of those Sambao transfers with watermelons on it, but I didn't do a very good job transferring it, so it's my cup now. Okay, onward we go. When we get to the bottom shelf, I have a whole bunch of refires, and they probably won't come out very well. You remember this cup. Okay, so this was black satin with pearl, and it looked kind of ugly last time. And I've put shipwreck over it. And I don't know if it's better. It's still a Pottery second. Still got some little marks on it, but may have improved enough to put it in my store. This one's still very flawed. The shipwreck did help it some, but still all these pinholes. It really, June Purple just doesn't seem to like this clay body. I wonder what it is. The tin, maybe? So I do a bargain bin listing every now and then. Once I get a stack of them, I'll put them all in, and then people can use them for planters or whatever. So look for a bargain bin listing in the future. I think this is just ancient jasper. Not sure. Just looks really kind of black. Inside's pretty though. I wonder if I meant to put another coat of something on that. Oh, look here. Oh, sorry. I got excited. This is the walnut over black walnut with green tea over it on the white clay. So I do have something. Hold on, let me get it. Let me get it. So, yes, a lot more color and metallic fun on the white clay. Refire. And no better. Sorry. Into the planter pile with you. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it's just pinholed all over, huh? Yeah, lots of pinholes. They don't feel like particularly sharp pinholes, but yeah, that can go in the goes in the $5 pile. Okay, so this was Mayco's Tiger's Eye and Desert Dusk, and I put Twilight over it to see if it would improve it and if I would like it better, which I do. I wish I didn't have to grind it, but I do like it better. I think it's cute. I always have mixed feelings on those crystals and Desert Dusk. I know I've said it before, but yeah. This is shallot. With a bump of twilight from that cup, I would say. Whoops. Sometimes you get a black line on your pink bowl. Oh, oh, oh my goodness. Really? This is a refire, and it's just, I should have just thrown it in the trash the first time. Now it looks exactly the same, and it has messed up my kiln shelf. This is Nimbus over Studio White on the roof. Looks like it behaved a little bit better on this shelf, maybe a little bit hotter here. Sunrise over Rue. I believe this is Fuzzy Peach over Honey Flux. I'm not sure why I did that combo, but Cactus over Studio White. Nimbus over Studio White. That's Ivy over Studio White on Rue. I believe this is Twilight with Running Hot Chowder. Okay, so this was already partially glazed, and I thought I was looking at birch and cordovan, but now that I'm seeing this, I think it was jasper on top, and whatever little light flux I put on didn't really do too much. I thought it was ready for the final coat, but this was one that didn't make it in from the last kiln. It's not terrible, it's just kind of a plainer black than I was thinking it would be. Something very teeny. And not very exciting. I believe that is Honeydew over the black clay. Honeydew just acting very clear. I think this is walnut and green tea again. I've clearly added something else to this. RHC maybe? Yeah, that looks like RHC on the edge. And another shelf that's going to need repairing. I can't win today, huh? All right. Why is this blue? I don't know. I want to say that this is ginger over the brown bear, but I really am not sure. It's definitely become a very nondescript color that I could have gotten this effect with many different shades. So, all right, last one on this shelf. That is Cactus on brown bear. Some interesting things in here. That's pretty. That's pretty. And just some problems. Ugh, I'm ready for a kiln load with no problems. All my shelves. And this wasn't even a hot kiln load. Why is all my glaze coming off? All right, there's still some good stuff on this shelf, even if it does need grinding. Okay, this was the refire for this, and this is far more stunning now. This was a Chun Seafoam, and I had some Jen's Juicy Fruit on it. And if you remember, the Jen's Juicy Fruit pinholed really heavily on the Rue stoneware last time. So I put a little bit of shipwreck on that, and that is, it's not a flawless finish, but it's really pretty, I think. It's so interesting because look, it's like it's not even connected to the drip. Yeah, he'll sand off. Okay. This was Power Turquoise and Seaweed on brown bear. And I believe I did that over white as well. That looks really high gloss and pretty. A Seaweed over Honeydew on brown bear. Went very metallic and shiny and not very green. So something to note. Really pretty finish though. Lavender Mist over white on brown bear. More of my Stroke and Coat over Honey Flux. Yeah, I think the greens are really washing out. The blues are really washing out. The red is the one that stayed the most vibrant on those colors. So I think when I'm sort of picking my rainbow palette. I'll have to be aware of what colors show a little bit more. This, I believe, is a Refire. It's Dove Gray, and it's Midnight, and I've added something to it. I think I'm pretty sure I added Bougainvillea to it, but I don't know how that could be. I would be more apt to say that that result would have come from Twilight or Shipwreck, but I don't see any of the specs from Twilight in it. Very interesting. It's definitely giving a really thick edge to it. I'm hesitating. It is night on the inside, poured in, and it is copper float, but not looking at all copper floaty. I believe it was just copper float in night, so it doesn't look like copper float. I don't know why. Maybe I have the wrong cup. This one crawled heavily the first time around. The crawl spots have filled in this time. This was white with Bailey's 2, and I put some Shipwreck over it, so I think it can at least go as a second at this point. Oh! Sorry. So this happened off camera. I was pulling out my kiln shelf, and I have that one really dirty kiln support, and it stuck. And so this cup, which was going to be fine, is a casualty. Oh, it was really pretty too. Anyway, that was Seltzer Chan with Vickery OS1, OS2, and a Refire with Bougainvillea on top of it. And now it is a pen holder for myself. Black walnut and green tea. These are pretty drips. A lot of pretty drips on this kiln load. I don't know. I mean, if it wasn't even a full cone 6 and I'm getting that much drippage, maybe I need to put some shelf cones on all the shelves and make sure I'm not getting one element that's firing hotter than another. Chun Plum and RHC. I'm still looking for that good pink-blue combo, but Chun Plum just always tends to go a little bit orange for me in places. Sunrise and Studio White. Beautiful. It's a Refire. I put Bougainvillea over a failed Autumn Purple Kimchi. I believe it was just too thin on the inside, but I think I finally saved that enough. Same here, Bougainvillea on top, Refire. And yeah, Bougainvillea saved these two, so that's nice. This is a Refire. If I Refire it again, I think I'll be on those kiln supports. Couple pinholes still. Just on the outside, but not great. Planter it is. Guys, the bargain bin listing just gets bigger and bigger today. Fuzzy Peach. Boy, I love Fuzzy Peach. I'm glad I got another container of that. Love that white pink thing it does. Unicorn Horn over Brown Bear. That's Coyote's Unicorn Horn. Sunrise by itself. Weird brown cup that I tried to save with Shipwreck. And now it is still a brown cup. It's just interesting. And And the lavender mist with a crawling spot. That's the only downside to having your glaze be that thick in the jar. If you don't thin it back out with water, then you run the risk of crawling. It's dove gray. Seaweed over white. That's looking really, really glossy. Seaweed seems to really like that brown bear clay. Ivy. This was cordovan and birch. Ginger. Spectrum's ginger. This was June purple, and I put copper float on the inside and a refire, and I should not have done that. It looks horrible. Bargain bin it is. Honeydew and seaweed on the roux. Variegated dove and raspberry mist. Green tea over white on brown bear. It's honey flux and chun plum and RHC, and it's gone very brown in the middle. This is honey flux and shallot. Maybe needed another layer. Now this shelf is largely refires, so I will try not to be too sad because we know that there's a certain rate of failure with refires. This was a Chanceladon, and it now has shipwreck over top. This was floating blue, and I put some bougainvillea on top of that. Try to fix a few pinholes. Slightly better, but the runs have run in an unfortunate way. Dark Star did not like this. Refire. Know if that's a little bit of bloat maybe on this one. That's probably my hot shelf. And it's definitely not fixed. I do like the colors though, the bougainvillea with the floating blue. That's possibly a glaze combo to look at in the future. And the drips are cute. Even if it is going in the bargain planter pile. This was texture kiwi that had pinholed a lot. Spectrum texture kiwi, and now it has Mayco shipwreck over top. That's sellable at least. Okay, here we have soft red over roux with a bit of shallot. That came out good. It's a nice color. Spiral looks pretty on the inside. Looks nice. Okay, this is Randy's purple on the bottom. It had power turquoise on the top, and there was a big missing section here. I've filled that in with shipwreck. Shipwreck, the glaze that will stick to anything. The bowl of mini refires. This is June purple, and it was kimchi originally, and it was too thin. And this time I have covered the thing in bougainvillea, and I think it looks better. I think it looks a lot better, actually. I think the inside's pretty. Still has this slight bump here, but it's still glazed over really well, so I think that's a go. If I fire it too many times, who knows, it'll come out square. It's already pretty wonky. Oh, Oh, this is a good save here. This was a textured kiwi and honeydew originally, and I have added shipwreck to it. Should have taken a before picture. This is a pretty good refire right here. Victoria green on the inside. So I did a whole bunch of refires and I just put shipwreck and bougainvillea on them, so it makes it a little easier to identify at this point. Oof. Plocking. This has been sitting on my shelf forever. It was my toasted marshmallow combo, which is night with white and Hanson tangerine and Hanson yellow. I was fixing a spot on it, and the pinhole spot is fixed, but now I'm gonna have to grind it if I want to sell it. Why? Yes. And what is it? Okay, I mean, it's definitely white. We've got some studio white in there. And could it just be really thick, fuzzy peach? It's a possibility. I think maybe white honey flux and really thick, fuzzy peach. Something drippy. What other surprises do we have? Copper float and emerald. It looks pretty good. Although I suspect that copper float wants a hotter kiln than I'm giving it. Next time, copper float, because this is dark star and dark star can't handle it. Yeah, I'm excited to try some of these on B-Mix. Once I get a whole batch of that through, then I'll retry some of these glaze combos, see what happens. This was the ever so disappointing Chun Seafoam and Bailey's 2 Red Bull, and I have put shipwreck over it and honey flux under the shipwreck, and it's better than it was. Oh, what happened here? My ginger cup went brown on refire. Yeah, spectrum floating glazes. Sometimes you'll lose some of the brightness and the warmth of the color on a refire. So I found that to be true with kimchi, autumn purple, and sangria. Always went a little bit browner for me on a second firing, and apparently so did ginger. It's okay. The flaw is fixed at least. Bougainvillea over top, but you can't really see any of the bougainvillea, but it's pretty. Definitely giving sort of yellow-green vibes. Originally Val's turquoise and eggplant and a little bit of shipwreck. And now it is that. I believe that had Chun Celadon on the rim to begin with as well. Ooh, shipwreck has saved this ugly brown cup. Yeah, that's a good save. Not ugly anymore. That's great news. I don't know what my success rate is here. Are we getting anywhere with this? Put another color over it. I still just think the original glazing was just too patchy, and nothing I'm ever going to do is going to fix that other than make it entirely black. So I think it's just going to go into the Pottery seconds pile. Shallots over Studio White on Brown Bear. Really? This is like not even a full cone 6. Would have thought I would have to grind so much. My poor kiln shells. Well, Floating Blue and Dirty Snow Overnight was the original. It had some problems. I put bougainvillea over this, right? Just a little bit of pink up at the top. Lemon meringue over white. Okay. I don't know what color is going to fix that. Yeah. And this is lemon meringue with soft red over it. Yay! Delightful cat puke colors. Oh, this is pretty. Okay. It's good. We got a good one, guys. This is the copper float. Yeah, that looks really, it's really metallic and pretty over the brown bear. I'm definitely excited to try that glaze on some white clay body pieces. Bougainvillea, trying to fix this. And I think it did. I don't see any more pinholes, so it's good. Ah, what was it sitting in? So a lot of these, because I only used 2 glazes to refire these, so they're either bougainvillea or shipwreck, and shipwreck's pretty obvious because it's got the chunks. So this was refired with the pink bougainvillea, and it just kind of made like a white. I mean, it's better than it was, but surprising that there's just no color to that. I would have expected something different. This is the Speckled Blues by Mayco over Studio White. Not a refire. Raspberry Mist with a little bit of snow on the edge. Lavender Mist, I believe. Looking pretty nice. Fuzzy Peach. I think I just went heavy with the Fuzzy Peach. This was just a Fuzzy Peach bowl and it's just really white. So maybe Fuzzy Peach would rather be a little thinner than, and this is just 2 coats. I guess they must have been generous coats on my part. Note to self, easy on the layers on Fuzzy Peach. This was Laguna Desert Sunset, and yeah, we found that Laguna crawled on our last batch as well. I still had a piece glazed in it that I hadn't fired from the last kiln, so I know better now. Well, that's pretty. What did I fix this with? Absolutely no idea, guys. It's gone metallic on the edges. I think there's some firebrick red in here. I think there's some RHC in here. I thought it was a refire. It may not be. It's a mystery. It's very pretty. It'll be in the shop. It's a soy sauce dish. It's $10. No, probably 12 because it's really pretty. All right, that's the kiln opening. It was more disastrous than usual. I broke something unloading. There's a ton of work to do to repair my shelves. Oh, it's the holiday season, and yeah, what are you gonna do? All right, keep working on it, I guess. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe.